What's on your travel bucket list? Or do you even have one? In this episode of Ladies Who Travel, we dive into the dream trips we still hope to take, the ones we've already done, and how our travel goals have evolved over time.
Welcome to the Global Travel Planning Podcast. Your host is founder of the Global Travel Planning website, Tracy Collins. Each week, Tracy is joined by expert guests as she takes you on a journey to destinations around the world, sharing travel inspiration, itinerary ideas, and practical tips to help you plan your next adventure. Join us as we explore everywhere from bustling cities to remote landscapes, uncover cultural treasures, and discover the best ways to make your travel dreams a reality.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this month's edition of Ladies Who Travel, which is our regular monthly series where we chat about all things travel. But from this month, I just want to announce that Melissa has agreed to come on as a permanent co-host for this series, which is really exciting. So just want to announce that. And also that Shelley has decided that she's going to pursue other projects from now. And so Melissa and I just wanted to wish her well in her continued travels and with her website, which is soloherway.com. So good luck with that, Shelley. And thanks so much for coming on as a guest for the previous episodes of Ladies Who Travel. It's been great to chat with you. And also, Melissa, we've got some ideas from January, haven't we, about how we're going to do these episodes?
Yeah. It'd be really great to, for those who are listening from our Ladies Who Travel group, it'd be great to have some of them on and come and hear about their travels or their thoughts about travels.
Yeah, so what we are planning to do next year is that we would like to chat to some of you on our monthly Ladies Who Travel series. So we only have 12 episodes in the year so far. You never know, this may become a spin-off podcast in the future of its own. But at the moment we have 12 episodes. So the aim next year will be that we will invite a fellow lady who travels on each month to chat about the relevant topics. We'll come up with the topics actually within our Facebook group. And I don't know, Melissa, if you want to just chat about what's been happening in the Facebook group. Now, we're recording this in September to go out in October, so I'd imagine by the time this goes live, it's going to have gone even bigger.
It's crazy, isn't it, Tracy? Like, we did start the group some time ago, but I think it was only really early August that we really started focusing on it. And yeah, we're almost up to 2,000 members already. So yeah, in about 6 weeks, we've got to about 2,000 members, and it's just growing every day, isn't it? It's great.
It's fantastic. So if you're listening to this podcast and you're a lady who travels, come and join our Facebook group.
Yes.
It's so exciting. We're loving it. And Melissa's already had one meetup in Brisbane already.
Yes, we met last Saturday, and I think there was 10 women plus me, so 11. It was wonderful to meet some local women, and we've already got a couple more, in the progress of getting set up. So, yeah, we hope to meet more of you around the world.
Absolutely. And I'm setting a meetup in Perth, which hopefully will have taken place by the time this podcast goes out. And I've also said I'll be over in the UK in March. So we're looking at dates there as well and different venues. So get in touch. Get in touch. Let us know where you are via SpeakPipe, where you'd be interested in having a meetup, and then we'll see what we can sort out. We're also very excited to share with you that we have some tours in the offing as well. And we are looking for ideas of where you would like to go. Where would you like to travel to? And at the moment, we have a Morocco tour in March, which is nearly full, which is going to be so exciting. I'm really looking forward to go back to Morocco. So that would be really, really cool. And we're looking at other ideas as well, Melissa.
Yeah. Like Tracy said, by the time this episode comes out, we would have closed our Vietnam trip. So that will be happening in March. But like Tracy said, we imagine Morocco might still be open unless it's full. But if you are interested, now is the time to sign up. But yeah, we need to plan some more trips for Ladies Who Travel. So we want to know, where do you want to go? Like, where have you always wanted to go, but with afraid to go on your own? Because now's the time, because now you've got like 2,000 friends to travel with. So you'll never have to travel alone again.
I know, it's amazing. So come and join the group. I'll put the link in the show notes. Let us know via SpeakPipe. We love hearing from you as well, and we might get a shout out on the podcast as well. And that leads us really well into this month's topic, actually, which is about bucket lists. So been there, done that. Or have you, what is your bucket list? Have you got an idea of the places that you really want to travel to? And this is a great chance for you to actually share this information with us as well, whether it's in the group, whether you send an email, whether you leave a message via SpeakPipe. We want to know, where is it that you want to go? Anyway, I'm going to start out by asking you, Melissa, do you have a bucket list? Do you hate the term bucket list? Is it in your head? Do you have it written down? How do you feel about bucket lists?
I don't mind the term bucket list, and I'm definitely one that I'm not really a fan of buzzwords and stuff. But I think bucket list is okay. I'm okay with that. Do I have a bucket list? I do. It's not a formal one though. It's not written down. It's not a Pinterest board. It's kind of not even clear in my head. There are just some places I want to go to. But yeah, there are some people say, oh, what's on your bucket list? And I might rattle off a few things. But yeah, nothing formal, not like, our friend Josie from Josie Wanders. Like, she always has like her bucket list up on her website, and I've read it a few times, and yeah, maybe I need to get around to something like that. What about you, Tracy? Like, do you have anything formal or?
Well, I'm glad you've mentioned Josie, actually, because Josie was on episode 28 and talking about her travels. And she has a 60 by 60 bucket list. And she really inspired me to kind of, and also I will mention with Josie's as well, is that it's not all big ticket things that she puts on her list. A lot of things can be local to her that she hasn't done, obviously experiences. And she always leaves a few places free, because you never know what's going to come up. And honestly, Josie inspired me to do it, and I still haven't. I have to say, this is typical me. This is what I'm going to do. And Josie's asked me a few times, how's it coming along? I'm like, not written down yet. Maybe by the time this episode is out, it will be done. I'll see. I think for me, yes, I've always had a bucket list. In fact, since I was 8 years of age, I had a bucket list. I only had two things on it. One was to stand at the top of Table Mountain. The other was to see the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. I was 8, and I kind of was like, those are the two places. And there were places I wanted to see. I did eventually see them. Stood at the top of Table Mountain when I was about 15. And I saw the Golden Gate Bridge, I think it was just before I was 50. So it took a long time to get there, but I did see it. And I do have some things that are always hovering in my mind about what I want to do and see. I think Josie made a really good point when she was talking about the bucket list, and she said it really helps you when you're going somewhere to kind of think, are there places that I want to go and see that I could kind of get to or easily, easily reach. I think that works really, really well. I suppose where bucket lists can have a bit of downfall when it's just seen as ticking something off, like a list that you've got to obsessively get through and tick off. And I like to have some kind of flexibility and kind of fluidity around my bucket list. It was really interesting because we asked in the Ladies Who Travel Facebook group yesterday, and Wendy said, yes, she has a bucket list, but the order keeps changing and new places get added depending on who she talks to, what she sees or what she reads. And I can totally understand that as well. You do that, don't you? You see somebody else has been somewhere and you go, oh, I really want to do that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I know I spoke to Tanya recently in episode 70 and 71, and her top of her bucket list for a long, long time was an African safari, which she did. And those are fantastic episodes to listen to. And I know that's one of your bucket list items, isn't it, Melissa?
Yes,
do you want to share where it is? Yeah, you want to go? Where are the places?
So I definitely, whenever anyone says to me, oh, like, what's on your bucket list? The number one thing I always say is an African wildlife safari. And I know Africa is a very big place, and I probably haven't really narrowed down where. Probably it will just depend on the time of year I go and where the best place is to see the animals. But I just love seeing animals in the wild. It is just super exciting to me. And so Africa is an African wildlife safari is high on my list. So I really, really hope that some Ladies Who Travel might like to come and do that one with me at some stage.
Well, I have done more African safaris than I can count because I grew up between Southern Africa and the UK. So from quite a young age, I took my daughter, I think, when I had her first African game drive when she was 5. And I'm lucky enough to actually own a timeshare in a game reserve as well. So not that I've been for quite a long time. Yeah, we can all go there.
1,000 of us will come and stay.
So, but I understand the draw. I'm hoping to get over there myself next year. And I think hosting a tour of Southern Africa, maybe Botswana, Namibia, would be so exciting. So if that's something on your bucket list, let us know.
Let us know. We can all go.
Yeah, I think so. Should I share one of mine? Because mine's
Yes,
also
yes.
Well, I'm going to start out with a bit of one that's a bit left field, actually, I suppose. In that I have wanted to do this forever, right? And it is I wanted to sing along to the lyrics of Anchorage, Alaska by Michelle Shocked when I land at Anchorage Airport.
Right.
That is a really weird one, I know, but I love the song so much, and I've wanted to go to Alaska forever. And just for me, the reality will be listening to her song as I land at the airport. And there, so that's a very, very weird one, but there you go. It's not always about places. Sometimes it's about like the experience.
Do you want to see Alaska, or you just land and then go back again and sing the song and turn around?
Oh, no. There's loads of things I want to do in Alaska. So I used to love ice road truckers, and I'd like to do the Dalton Highway. I just would love to do that. That would be a great trip. And I'd love to then do an Alaskan cruise as well. Look, I've not done a cruise, and I've always been a bit about cruises, but I have to say, if there's one cruise that I would like to do, it would be the Alaska one. I've heard it's amazing. And so I think flying into Anchorage, maybe doing a bit of the Dalton Highway, then taking a cruise would be a pretty amazing experience.
Yeah. I did see also Iris in our group, one of her bucket list items was to go to Greece. She said it's been on her bucket list for more than 50 years. So, Iris, I hope you get there one day. But, I have been to Greece a few times. That on my bucket list is to do a bit of island hopping around Greece. That would be, I did actually have it planned a while back and I had to cancel it, unfortunately. But, that's something I really like to do, to do an island hopping trip around Greece. So maybe Iris and I can go one day.
Well, I see actually Iris is going next year. She said that her son got there before her. So Greece, we actually did travel to Greece a couple of years ago, which was really cool. And I have not been to the islands. Now, I have always been a fan of Gerald Durrell, and my family and other animals. He grew up on Corfu, and actually Corfu has been on my to visit list forever. I actually managed to go visit the zoo in Jersey that Gerald Durrell set up, and actually managed to visit his grave, which was a big thing for me. I actually did cry because I've been a fan since I was about 8 or 9 of Gerald Durrell, so that was amazing. So yes, I'd like to go to Corfu and see the White Villa and the Strawberry Villa. So if you know my family and other animals, you'll understand all about that. But I think having a bucket list does focus you as well and make you think about places that you want to go. And again, what is really funny about my list, and I was thinking about this last night, is that because I don't like the cold, and we're going to Antarctica in November,
which was also is on my bucket list, but it won't be soon because we'll have gone there.
Exactly. So we'll be able to tell you all about that and how that goes. But I notoriously don't like cold weather, right? Even though I was British, I was born in the northeast of England, so maybe that's what it was. I was just like, no, get me away from this cold weather. But interestingly, the next thing on my bucket list is actually to see the polar bears in Churchill. So, I've wanted to do that forever. Again, having a real interest in seeing animals in the wild. And I know that with climate change and things changing, it's becoming much more difficult for the polar bears. So it's something that I really would like to go and experience. But well wrapped up, I will say. And I'd be really interested if anybody has done this. Has anybody in the group or anybody listening to the podcast, have you been to Churchill? Can you let us know? In fact, I'd like to come on the podcast and talk all about it because I'm a bit obsessed with it. I just think it would be amazing.
The other thing in our group, Gloria, I know that she said India is on her bucket list, and that was also on my bucket list until last year, where I was lucky enough to go on a trip to India with you. Well, I actually invited myself. You said you were going. I was like, can I come?
I know. It was really cool, yes, because at the time my brother and sister-in-law were living in India. So I knew they were moving back to Denmark where they live, and it was my last chance to go over. So I planned a 6-week trip, but I wanted to do 2 tours. I didn't feel confident to visit India on my own, and so I kind of reached out and said, "Do you want to come?" And maybe I was discussing it with you, and you kind of like, "Can I come?" I'm like, "Yeah, do you want to come?" Yeah. Absolutely come. Yeah. And we had the best time. We so really did. We did 2 Intrepid tours. We did South India, and then we flew up to North India. And did the 2 tours. Actually, the North India tour that we did with Intrepid was a women only. It was fabulous.
Absolutely. So we should definitely look into putting that trip on for Ladies Who Travel, because that was so good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And also, if we're looking at India as well, I have Marianne as well, who has been on the podcast to talk all about. She also has a tour company in India, and I'd love to chat to Marianne about that. And she focuses on it's basically India for beginners. It's her tour group, and she looks at kind of preparing and planning bespoke trips for women who want to travel India. So that would also be awesome, actually, to chat to Marianne and see if we can organise something. So if India's on your bucket list, let us know. And Sandy, who in the group, she was actually sharing that she wants to go to Morocco and Vietnam. Well, we have 2 tours.
And you know what's good about the Morocco and Vietnam trip? You can do Vietnam, and then from Vietnam you can fly to Morocco and do Morocco as well.
Which is what I'm doing. We're both doing that.
We'll be doing, yeah. So Sandy, let's talk.
Absolutely. And Sandy also mentions something else that we've been talking about. And actually, Doug and I have just recently recorded an episode about the Christmas markets in Germany, and our trip actually around Europe in December, because we traveled to about 5 or 6 different countries. I love Christmas markets. Germany does them the best, in my opinion. And so we'd love to do Christmas markets in Europe, 100%. And we'd like to look at doing a river cruise. I think that would be really cool as well. But we're also interested in not only doing the women-only tours, but also doing tours where you can bring along your partner as well.
Yes. You know, the idea behind Ladies Who Travel is not just women's only trips. I mean, obviously that's what we've got going so far, but we want to support you no matter how you'd like to travel. Like maybe sometimes you want to travel with your girlfriend, sometimes you want to travel with your husband or your partner. Look, I mean, I have a teenage daughter. I'd really like the idea of having a mum and daughter trip or something like that. So let us know how you want to travel and where to, because we're here to support you in any way you like.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. There's so much of the world to see and go and explore. So, come with us and do it. I think that's the key. The key thing is sometimes it's finding your tribe to go and do that trip with as well and have fun with. I'm going to just mention the third thing on my bucket list because we kind of decided we were going to share what they were today. And it's another cold thing, which is hilarious, honestly. And that is, I really would like to spend some time in either the ice hotel or one of those igloos in the Arctic Circle and see the Northern Lights.
Yes, Northern Lights, definitely on my bucket list. Would love to see that. I'd have to really get prepped though, because I don't like cold weather either. But yes, it would be worth it, wouldn't it? You'd forget about the cold.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And quite a few people actually in the group mentioned Iceland, which is again kind of features high. I've been wanting to go to Iceland forever before it actually became like mega. Probably over touristed now, which kind of worries me. I'm trying to stick away from that. But Iceland would be somewhere that I'd like to go there for a whole month if I could afford it and just really explore it and try the food. And I absolutely love some of the Icelandic dramas. They're so good. They're really, really good. So I like to immerse myself, whether it's by reading or watching stuff on Netflix or TV about a place that I'm going to, and whether that's actually a fiction or non-fiction. It's just you learn such a lot. You see a lot of what you think. Oh, I really want to go and see that. Or I want to try that, or you can learn a little bit of the language. And we've talked about that before, isn't it, about kind of trying to prepare when you're going somewhere that you haven't been in and learn a few words.
Well, I've got another thing that's on my bucket list, which is also on Wendy in our group, and her bucket list is going to the Galapagos. I really would like to go to the Galapagos someday. She also has going to Machu Picchu, which I did do that when I was a fair bit younger, in my early 30s. I did the trek there. It nearly killed me, but I did it. I did do it, and it was fantastic seeing Machu Picchu. South America, in fact, is amazing. But yeah, Galapagos, definitely something on my bucket list that I'd hope to see one day.
I know that's Wendy saying. It's like she's done some of these amazing things at the African safari and visiting Machu Picchu and the Galapagos. Just, I mean, they're amazing trips that you've done there, Wendy. I have to say, I haven't done any. I've obviously done African safari, but not on the Masai Mara. I would actually love to see the wildebeest migration, and it's something that I keep trying to fit into my schedule, and it just never happens. I have to say, quite a few people have mentioned trekking in Rwanda to see the gorillas. I have to say that's just, and this is where we're all different, because the reason why that isn't on my bucket list, I would be terrified. The whole flight or fight thing. I would want to run away. I'm scared when I see them in a zoo. So God knows what if I actually saw like a massive silverback, I'm like, nah. So I admire everybody who has done that or would like to do that, but it's definitely not something that I want to do. I think that's something you wanted to do, Melissa.
Oh, I would love to. Look, honestly, I just love seeing wildlife in the wild. So I would be keen on that. It would probably have to depend on, I don't mind a bit of trekking. I don't mind getting a little bit dirty, but it probably would depend how dirty and how long and hard the trek is if I would do it. But yeah, I'd be up for that, Wendy, definitely.
Yeah, I'm going to say I think some of these things you'll have to do. Some I won't be able to do. For example, anything that involves trekking.
Yeah.
Because hiking, because I'm infamous for not wanting to do either of those things. It's just those are not for me. That's not holiday for me unless I'm in New Zealand, South Island, and that's the one place in the world that I will do a hike. Otherwise, nah, not for me. But it's good. Otherwise, we'd all be got in the same place, wouldn't we?
Exactly.
Yeah. What about a bucket list thing that you have done that really delivered, or have you done something that you really expected to be better than it was?
Well, look, I think something that really delivered was definitely India for me. I really loved India. I was actually surprised how much I loved it. We went for a month, and I thought the month would be a little bit hard in India, but we did prepare a little bit, but neither of us got sick. We were very, very well the whole entire time. But what surprised me a little bit, and in hindsight, it probably shouldn't have surprised me, but rather than just the destinations we visited or attraction, I love the interactions we had with the people. And like you said, we were on a women's trip, and it wasn't just as in women like us on the trip. The focus was on the women in the communities that we visited as well. And I really love that. I just love the interaction. But like I said, I shouldn't have been surprised, because that's one of the things I find on any trip I go on. I'm always like, oh, I had this wonderful interaction with such and such. And I mean, that's what travel is to me, isn't it? It's just wonderful.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, to meet people when we travel is just amazing. It's just fantastic. I mean, for me, actually, yeah, always meeting people, that's always a highlight. And I'm such a chatty person anyway. So any time that I'm on a train trip is always a joy for me, because just getting a chance to sit, you do on a train, you just sit and kind of naturally have a conversation with people that you meet. So I've done some really cool train trips over the years. In terms of actually seeing something, the fact that I waited like nearly 40 years to see the Golden Gate Bridge, that was kind of special. I remember coming out on the coach from the airport and the first sighting of it, and it was like, oh wow. And I think it kind of underlined that, sometimes we have these lists or these ideas of places we want to see, and sometimes you don't get to them straight away, but eventually you can, and that dream never went away, and I managed to kind of fulfill it. So I know the other places that I really want to go to, I will eventually get there. So sometimes it's just having that patience. I haven't really been anywhere that's been a letdown. I was thinking really hard about that, and I just really embrace most of the places that I go to. I guess I've mentioned probably the place that I don't dislike the most, but I don't rush back to is Paris. I just find Paris always a little bit. I'm like, yeah, were you also going to say Paris? Yeah, it's funny that it comes up so often.
I don't mind. And look, I don't mind I'd go again, but I'm a bit surprised how everyone's like, oh, I want to go to Paris. And I was like, it's a city with a very big tower.
I think it's just I think Paris has done a really good job over the years of kind of publicising itself. We've got Emily in Paris as well, so I don't know. Look, Paris is okay. It's certainly not my favourite city in Europe, which is Split. If you want to in Croatia. Before that, it was Rome. I love history, so the fact that Rome, and it's really funny because my sister doesn't like Rome at all. So there you go, we're all different. I just love the fact that you can walk and feel the history. You can feel the past in those places, and I just love that. I just feel that you can reach over the centuries and actually feel the people who lived before us. So that's such a special thing.
I like that too. And my other one that it wasn't on my bucket list, but it was just somewhere where we went that it seems to be on everyone's bucket list was Hawaii. It was okay, but I'm like, okay, it's just a beach destination. And look, I mean, I know Hawaii is a big place, and I only went to Waikiki and Maui, but I just didn't really get it.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it was okay, but it wasn't amazing for me. So.
What about the places that you want to visit, or your style of travel? Has that changed over the years? Obviously, I mean, you did some solo travel when you were younger, as I did, and then we've both got daughters, so we've travelled with our kids as they've grown up. My daughter's is quite a bit older than yours now, though. But have you changed the style of how you travel?
Yeah, I have a little bit. I mean, I only started traveling, like my first international trip, I was 23, I think. And so, early on, like most travelers, I was keen to see all those iconic tourist places that we'd all heard about. So I was really, really keen to see them. And then over the years, I kind of noticed that I seem to really like the smaller village adventure-y style trips a lot more than those big iconic places. So I do tend to probably look for those type of trips a bit more now. That's not to say I wouldn't go to like popular tourist places, because I will. But I just find that I enjoy places where I can immerse myself in a different type of culture and have opportunities to interact with local people a little bit more, which does tend to kind of lean towards that slower travel, so that you can be, in a marketplace, or as opposed to going to the famous attraction in town, which might be the Eiffel Tower or something like that. So, yeah, it has changed a little bit. What about yourself?
Actually, we talked about that, about India, didn't it? When we were talking about our highlights of India in the group that we travelled with, nobody mentioned the Taj Mahal, which is kind of what everybody says to you when have you been in India? Oh, did you go to the Taj Mahal? And you go, yes, I went to the Taj Mahal. But actually, it wasn't. It was about the interaction and meeting the people that kind of stood out. I've been guilty the last few years of actually doing faster travel than I'd like to. But mainly I feel like I'm trying to catch up on a lot of travel that I didn't do when I was bringing up my daughter and concentrating on work and not traveling so much, and also emigrating to Australia, which cost quite a lot of money. So I've felt like I hadn't been to Vietnam, I hadn't been to Cambodia, I hadn't been to New Zealand, I hadn't been to, so I want to do all of those places. So I kind of have over the last few years fitted in a lot of places, probably 25, maybe even 30 countries. Even in December when we're traveling around Europe, I was like, well, I've not been to Finland, I've not been to Poland, we're going to go there. So sometimes that drives a little bit of what I want to do. But I'm also keener on the future in doing the slower travel and actually spending some time. I'd love to spend 6 months in New Zealand and really kind of just explore New Zealand properly. I'd like to do the same in maybe Malaysia as well, spend 3 months in Malaysia and really, get to meet the local people, go and shop at the local market, learn more about the culture and the people who live in that country. Yeah, so slower travel is something that I'd like to do in the future as well. And, I think that's, it doesn't matter how you travel, really. It's about kind of what suits you. Mm-hmm. And, if you only have 10 days holiday off, then that's what you've got to fit in. Exactly. If you have, and then you've got to prioritize if you have got, more. I've got a friend in the UK who's about to do travel around the world and is doing it in about 2 weeks. and he's just gone from one flight to the other. He had all these free flights or like cheap flights, so he's just done that. So it's like, wow. And like that to me would be, I couldn't do that. I hate flying anything. You couldn't force me to do that. But yeah, so it's just everybody, some people choose to do different things. That's what he wants to experience. So that's what he's doing. Yeah, so there's just, we all travel differently, which is absolutely fine. And we're looking to include as many different ways of travel and different destinations as we can over the next few years, and hopefully develop Ladies Who Travel tours, and obviously the Ladies Who Travel Facebook group as well, into a really, really thriving community and also we can offer places that you want to go on your bucket list if you've got one over the next few years. That would be great, wouldn't it?
It would be. And Tracy, I think it's probably a good time to say, like, we've talked about Vietnam and Morocco, but if there is anyone out there who the UK is on their bucket list still, but they're a bit afraid to go there, that you're offering. It's not a purely ladies only trip, but if any of people from the Ladies Who Travel would like to go to the UK, they can have a chat with you.
Yeah, Doug and I are hosting a tour around Britain next year, so we'll be in England, Scotland and Wales. So if you're interested in that, do get in touch. You can find my email address via the show notes. I'll put that in for UK travel planning as well. So get in touch if that's something you want to interested in, and listen to the UK Travel Planning podcast as well, because we'll be kind of chatting about it in there as well. But yeah, absolutely. We do have some places left, so do get in touch. We'd love to see you on that tour as well. Anyway, I guess that's it. That's a wrap for this month, Melissa. We've talked about our bucket list. We've shared some of the bucket lists from some of the amazing members in our Ladies Who Travel Facebook group as well. As I say, you can find links to the tours. You can find link to the Facebook group in the show notes for this episode, which will be at globaltravelplanning.com/episode 78. And you can also leave us a message. Please leave us a message via SpeakPipe. We love to hear from you. But I guess that just leaves us until next month, Melissa, when we will be back to chat all things. I think we're actually going to be talking about how climate affects where we visit. So, cold weather, whether we like it or not, or do we prefer heat? What do we like when we travel in terms of climate, and how do we prepare? Because I know this is something we've chatted about, even preparing for Antarctica is stressing us out a little bit. Make sure we don't freeze.
Mm-hmm. Yes, no, that'll be a good one to talk about because, I struggle with the cold weather too.
Yeah, so that'll be next month. But as always, until next month, happy global travel planning. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Global Travel Planning Podcast. For more details and links to everything we discussed today, check out the show notes at globaltravelplanning.com. Remember, if you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving us a review on your favourite podcast app, because your feedback helps us reach more travel enthusiasts just like you. Anyway, that leaves me to say, as always, happy global travel planning.